Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to what is going to be a 17 kill game replay because my recording software decides not to start sometimes when I restart the computer. So I didn't know it wasn't recording, and then I was like, wow, I'm so excited to share this match, and I realized I had nothing to share. So it's replay time. And I was thinking about just launching this one as it is because the video does kind of speak for itself. But then I thought, you know what? There's this thing that I've been itching to talk to you all about. So why don't I just ramble and babble for a while? My crazy conspiracy theories? No, it's even better. Home remedies, my friend. So what if I told you, hashtag not a doctor, hashtag not medical advice, because I'm not trying to steal your money and reduce your health at the same time. The American medical system, making Americans sicker and poorer since 1980, when we decided to let private industry fund our regulatory agencies, because that's not fucking retarded. Are we a minute into the video yet? The target has been destroyed, and the target is the American medical system. So, what if I told you that completely legally, as a private sovereign citizen, you could have unlimited clean water, sparkling white, beautiful teeth, and a poison emergency response for the cost of one match? So, don't tell Smokey I told you this one. But the answer is activated carbon. So you can create activated carbon by heating up carbon molecules. And of course, carbon is an element. It bonds into molecules in what ends up being long, twisty, tangled chains called hydrocarbons or whatever else have you. Look, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy that remembers a bunch of random shit, okay? So, I also like to try things every now and then. And I tried my hand at making some activated charcoal. So, again, any carbon-based life form can be rendered down into carbon from whence it was spawned, and the way you do that is just by heating it up to where the other things burn off. So what you do for making charcoal is you get wood hot enough to burn off the extra chemicals, the lignins. Did you like that? I told you, I remember a bunch of random stuff. You cook off the lignins and the sap and all the fun stuff that's inside of your mesquite or whatever sticks you have laying around, literally any tree. I would kind of avoid the poisonous ones, but I mean, technically you should be able to cook out things like oxalic acid that's going to give you a little tummy ache. And again, activated carbon is an anti-poison agent. Why does it make clean water? Why does it create an anti-poison? And why does it make your teeth oh so shining white? It's all for the same reason. Activated carbon likes to bond with whatever is in its neighborhood. So if you have some little motes of carbon floating around, they're going to want to bond with just about anything for just about no cost in energy. So they will spontaneously bond with things like poisons in your tummy or nutrients in your tummy. So you don't want to be eating activated carbon all the time. But again, if you get poisoned, it might actually save your life to drink a bunch of charcoal dust. Look, not medical advice, but if you're dying anyway, the emergency kits that have activated carbon are essentially the same thing as some crushed up charcoal in a glass of water. Just keep that in mind. You might want to keep some charcoal on hand for just such an occasion. Additionally, you can use it to whiten your teeth for, again, the same reasons. That carbon is going to bond to the acids in bacteria shit that cause tooth decay. You can see, I know what I'm talking about here. They're also going to bond with the sugars and starches that are resting inside your mouth, making food for the bacteria that cause your teeth to decay. And you really should be laying off those processed sugars, but switch up to honey as your sweetener when you want to actually have carbs, and try and find a low carb, no carb sweetener for your foods as minimally processed as possible. Not because it has anything to do with my rambling video or it's at all on topic, but I care about you. And I just want you to have a full, long, delightful life. And you know what? The world is a better place with you in it. And it's always nice to age and die gracefully instead of going the diabetes route. And you know what? If you choose that path, no shame on you. No shame on you. You do you, boo. And we're just gonna dodge that tree there. But making activated carbon is dead simple. You take some fire starter, so whatever way you like to start a fire, whatever way you find best. I find that crumpling up some paper or twisting up some cardboard, and I like to use stuff that doesn't have a bunch of printing on it, because the printing uses plastics, and those make nasty smoke that's really, really not good for anyone to be around, and they pollute the environment, and yada yada, etc. It's just not a great way to start a fire. Try and use paper with not a lot of printing on it. Newspapers are fine. I think they tend to use less ink, but the glossy stuff, not only is that just for fools to get their eyes stimulated by, but also it's just not good for the environment. And so wad you up some paper, get yourself a little fire starting teepee set up with your materials. And you got your little stick. You know how to start a fire. I'm not going to teach you how to start a fire, but you get a fire going and you start feeding it dry wood. So this is literally just, sticks and things that you find. In fact, sticks about as thick as your finger make great material for charcoal, because they char up pretty quickly and they tend to cook through fairly effectively. So what you want to do is have an oxygen situation that is top access only and pretty much straight up and down. So that might sound a little bit arcane, but for efficient airflow, you want to have bottom access for a fire. So if you have a fireplace, you'll notice that the vents on your fireplace tend to be lower down on the fireplace, and that's because it's easier for cold air to be sucked in the bottom and then hot air to pull fresh air in through the exiting through the top. But you're gonna cook in a hole that only has air coming in from the top. Now, why are we doing this? Also, for your hole, you can use like a pot. It's fine if you don't mind, singeing your pot a little bit. Don't use your best pot, but if you got some extras, something pretty much cylindrical in shape, you could use a can of beans. You could use any cans, actually, would probably be a great idea. I wouldn't use a glass jar. Those could shatter. I'd avoid that. You know what? Why don't we avoid glass? Why are you setting a glass jar on fire anyway? I mean, you guys are almost as weird as I am. So, you have your can of beans. You have your little hobo fire burning in a barrel. You have air coming in the top, heating up in your fire, and it's not burning very efficiently. It's gonna smolder, and that's another reason why you want to use clean materials to burn here. This is not your smudge pot. You want to I mean, you're going to have smoke from this because it's not going to be a really efficient hot burning fire, because efficient hot burning fires are going to burn through your carbon. So you want it to suck air through the top, burn that oxygen, and eject hot air through the top, and then you just keep stacking more sticks, more fuel, as your fuel starts to get charred. So once it turns black and starts really cooking, start building your second layer of sticks in just a circular. You're making the next layer. It's like if it was a skyscraper, you've got floor 1 where you lit the fire, and then you're building the second floor as those sticks are turning into charcoal. And then by the time you're building your third and your fourth layer, that first layer has no more access to oxygen. So that's the goal. It'll still be hot, but it will not be combusting. It will be off-gassing the volatile gases and the liquids that are gasifying, and the gooey stuff like your lignins that hold your wood together, which make up I think it's like 60% of the mass of the wood is lignins, which are essentially like a glue. They're a glue-like substance. And when those are gone, you're left with the carbon structure of those cells themselves. And it's like an empty box just waiting to be filled. Kind of like a Tiger tank. And we filled it with 20 mils there. And then definitely survived the process. We used the last of our ammunition there, and we took the fast pass to getting into a new vehicle by slamming our previous one into the earth. So I hope I wasn't too confusing there, but I hope I was also warm and friendly, because I like talking to you guys, and I treasure our friendship. Or our acquaintance, or whatever it is, this online relationship. Just want you to know that it's good to share kindness with people, and I really try to do that every chance that I get, and I look for chances to just enhance the quality of other people's lives. And let me tell you something. I was so mad today because I was listening to he's this cardiologist from Britain with an English name, Nassim something. Sorry, he's a cardiologist from Britain with an Indian name. He's Hasim Nassanj, I think is his name. And my God, this man has been through the process of revealing the way that the pharmaceutical companies have captured the regulatory agencies that are supposed to keep them from being absolutely unrestrained evil, turned against the American people, the people of the world, and peddling lies instead of medicine, and suppressing the truth in unrighteousness to the damnation of their own souls and the destruction of those around them. And I was so angry to seeing Nassim make his very, very strong, his life goal case here. Very reasonable, very sharp, astute, qualified man, tearing to pieces this facade over the face of villainy that is the big pharma experience. And I was so angry that I'm happy to share just some really free, helpful tips with you guys. I've been experimenting with and benefiting from my own carbon. I started off by building a fire in basically a crock pot. It's a stainless steel liner that goes into one of my pressure cookers that is no longer valid. I have a bigger pressure cooker now because, my God, how delightful, how sweet it is to have a computerized pressure cooker in your life. When they don't explode, because they do explode, because, they're cheap. They're built cheaply. Quality control is not 100%, but I haven't had one explode on me. I have heard of them exploding, though. It happened to a friend of mine. Man, it's actually a bomb, so you don't want to be around there. I did not teach you how to make a bomb today, but I started a fire in that stainless steel pot, and my daughter decided that we were now having a picnic, and picnic actually just means barbecuing on the driveway. That's what picnic means to her. So we had a picnic, and we roasted some hot dogs and had a great time, and I just went around my yard garden, my yarden, if you will, and I gathered up some dry sticks that I've been using, because everybody should have a pile of sticks, a pile of rocks, and a pile of decaying organic material in their yard. It's the best thing, in your garden as well. Maybe I'll get into that some other time, but I was gathering sticks. And man, it's nice to just have a collection of sticks for whatever use you have for them. So many things you can use dry sticks for. And I was adding them to the fire, roasting some hot dogs, and then adding layer to layer, and just enjoying myself out in the nice, dusky evening sunlight. And then I put a cover on the pot once I'd gotten a few layers done, and I felt like I had some good charcoal chuchin in there, and I just let it, choke out and then cool off. And I take the cover off of the pot, I dump out the charcoal, and these are, the little black sticks. And the best way I've found to make use of them is to keep all that charcoal in a bucket, and then I take a handful and I ram it down into a sock, and the sock acts as storage and also a filter. And then what you do is you maul that sock, you squeeze it, you crunch those bits of black charcoal sticks together and make charcoal powder, and then you can steep that sock in your bath water and add some activated carbon to your bath water, neutralizing acids, sulfurs, chlorine, whatever is in your city water, whatever's in your well water, if you don't have a charcoal filter. And I found that's been really good for my skin. I have eczema, and I've been doing everything I can to deal with it, because my hands are all scarred up from peeling for years, since I was a dishwasher back in a German restaurant way back in the day. And that all got kicked off, and it took me ages to figure out what to do about my eczema, and I'm starting to figure it out. I'm learning how to live, my friends, and I just want to share that with you. Whatever's good, whatever's wholesome, whatever's true, whatever builds up and encourages you all, that's the kind of stuff I want to share with you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to become a blessing to the people around you. And so I hope this video was a blessing to you. You're worth blessing. It's good for you to do well. And I'm happy to spend some time with you today. Just, in this pre-recorded digital format that's convenient for me. Because, dear Lord, I'm so busy. So much going on these days. I hope I haven't been sliming into the mic too much, because I'm sick today. I've got a head cold that was up in my sinuses, and I tried to get an ear infection, but I haven't really succeeded in having any real problems from the fluid on my ear. It's been clearing out on its own, and I only poked around there a little bit. I wasn't really trying to make anything happen. It's just kind of stretching the skin a little bit to see if I could, stimulate those ducts a little bit that make up the very complex structure of your ear. So you don't want to introduce things into there, but maybe I can just kind of see if I can hit the factory reset on those ducts. Anyway, I'm trying to keep my ducts in a row, you know. So this is what happens when you don't shut down American close air support. These 20 mils, they just shred through roof armor of just about everything you're going to face. And, you know, if you actually do manage to get kills with your bombs or your rockets, that's pretty cool too. Had a good time with the P-47. Always have a nice time in the AU-1 if I don't get shot out of the air. And I had a nice time talking to you. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.